What's up, everybody? Welcome to We Want Everything, a show where we go over everything that we have been collecting over the last couple of weeks, since basically the last podcast episode. From our friends and family sending them to us, from myself and Will driving around every store in the city collecting them and buying them, from people downright sending them to us.
Which we appreciate.
I'm your host, Tuck. That's Will. We also host the podcast Super Retro, which you can find everywhere. Let's hop right into this thing. We got this thing. It's full of stuff, okay? I'm just going to randomly hop in there. And everything that's in here is no older in our collection than maybe 2 weeks old. Maybe one snuck in there that I really wanted you guys to see from like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
But they're all new additions.
These are all new additions, so I'm just going to reach down
collection.
and grab one. This is going to be fun. Bayou Billy. Okay, have you ever played this game?
No.
And we need honesty here.
No, I have it. I have it, though, at home, and I've never played it.
You never played it. Bayou Billy. Here, I'm going to give a close-up every time. Bayou Billy. Now, this is cool. This was actually sent by somebody. Chris Pop. Super shout-out to Chris Pop. He sent this, and this is one of the ones that I added. I've had this one for a little longer than a couple weeks, but I knew he sent this to us, and I wanted to give him a shout-out.
Appreciate it.
Chris, you get the first shout-out. I played it a little bit. It's all right. I think it gets a bad rap. I see a lot of people hating on this game. It is not that bad, but I'm going to be completely honest. I've only made it to the second board. So
we'll have to play it.
Yeah.
Because I haven't played it. But there's a lot of those. That's probably why.
A lot of people hate it.
I'm saying it's a common game.
You can get the CIB for like $20.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you go anywhere, they'll have one of those.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Bayou Billy, Chris Pop, thank you. And guys, we're not just reviewing games. There's VHS tapes in here. There's not just Nintendo games. There's Sega games, stuff like that.
It's basically 80s and 90s
80s
pop
and
culture.
90s. We're collecting everything. Yeah. So there's a lot of movies in here and a lot of games.
Anything that gives me and Tuck nostalgia from our childhood.
Anything when I see it, I'm like,
I had that. Or
I want that shit.
Or I wanted it then.
I got to get that immediately. Spaceballs.
That's classic.
How classic is this? And I'll tell you what.
It still stands up, too. You can still watch it.
This holds up.
A lot of stuff doesn't from this era, which we know. You know what I mean? A lot of these movies and stuff, the games, they're not any good.
So the quality of 80s movies is almost one of the reasons I like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can look at it right away and know that's an 80s movie.
See a movie so bad it's good?
Yeah, exactly. That whole thing. Yeah. It's so bad it's good. And that's why I absolutely love 80s movies. The special effects are hilarious because it was CGI
yeah, they
era.
had to do whatever they could to
they
figure it out.
They had to just figure the shit out. And this movie is one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of the first spoof movies of my generation. Like when, you know what I mean? It was a movie making fun of movies.
Is there any what do you think of when you see this?
It's just Star Wars.
Okay, what I think about is the RV. That's their spaceship. Yeah. The flying RV, which, by the way, I'm going to get that tattoo. That's coming up next. Somebody's about to give me that tattoo.
That'd be a good tattoo, for real.
And then I think of the alien dancing in the diner.
I think of the dude's helmet.
Oh, yeah.
It's so big,
He's got the huge helmet. Yeah. The kids were down here watching it the other day, and they were cracking up. They're like, what the hell is this? I was like, you'll understand one day.
And when they tells him, the quotes I remember is when they say, comb the desert.
Yep.
And they're out there combing the desert with hair combs.
Yep. So, Spaceballs, classic.
Like, that movie's making fun of like 3 or 4 or 5 different movies.
Yeah, it's a spoof, but it turned out to be really fucking good.
It's a good movie.
Okay.
You just jumped into the real.
I just went right to it. We could have saved this one for last. Look at that. Double Dragon CIB. And I'll tell you what. Double Dragon complete in box. This thing is perfect.
How? I don't even understand how games...
I mean, it's perfect. Like, I don't even want to open it, but trust me, it's in tip-top shape in there, too.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm blown away by complete inboxing.
Right. So, I do have the date on this. This is 19... Take a guess. When is this, Will? What do you think?
88?
87.
Ooh.
1987. And you know what other game gets a lot of hate? This game.
Yeah.
This game gets a lot of hate, and I don't appreciate it. I absolutely love this game.
It's fun.
I love everything about this game.
And its time, it was unbelievable.
It was... I must have played this game a million times. What is Bobo? Is that... I think Bobo, the big guy that has a shirt off that comes?
Yeah, probably. I don't remember the name.
Man, I love it. I like how you couldn't get the jump kick until the second level.
Yeah.
Or till the... I don't know if it was the second level, but it was the second stage.
Getting weapons,
getting the whips, getting the knives,
getting
the bats.
Fun. And I'm so old. I remember playing this in an arcade. I tried to tell my boy, I'm like,
Yeah.
I paid $0.25 to play. Every time
Every
I
time.
die,
You
and
die.
I have to start over and get
Yeah.
another $0.25.
So Double Dragon CIB, this is a classic game. When I saw this, I was like, we absolutely have to add that to the collection.
Yeah, the
So
whole artwork, everything is awesome.
where we got this off eBay.
Yeah.
So this was an eBay purchase between me and him. We had to get this, and there's plenty more of these to come
Shout out to whoever keeps these games
in
this
type of condition.
Like,
It's amazing.
I've ripped my boxes open immediately.
Again, we want everything.
Thank you.
The Blues Brothers, okay?
It's an iconic movie.
Shout out to Daniel Wilson and his girlfriend Tara. They sourced some stuff out for us. I really appreciate it. And Daniel just recently called me and put me on speakerphone and or on FaceTime and was showing me a bunch of stuff. So I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate all my people out there, trying to add to the collection. I have a confession to make. I've never seen this movie, but I do know it's absolutely iconic.
Yeah.
And
It's cool.
now, have I seen it on television? Yeah,
You've seen
but
clips of it.
I've seen clips of it, and I know there's iconic scenes from it, but I've never sat down and watched it from beginning to
We
end.
gotta watch that.
I just wanted to put this in here to shout out to Daniel Wilson. Big Trouble in Little China.
It's worth every dollar.
Big Trouble in Little China. This was an eBay pickup. I mean,
Look at that artwork, bro. That
Look
screams 80s.
at that. How amazing is this?
Old Jack Burton.
1986.
Perfect.
Look at Kurt Russell.
Killing the game.
How much of a stud?
Killing it.
How much of a stud was Kurt Russell in the 80s?
I mean, he oozed.
He is the 80s.
He oozed cool. Yeah.
I'll
He
tell
is the 80s.
You know what movie I want just by seeing this? Overboard.
Yeah, I remember.
Him and Dolly. What's her name? Goldie Hawn. I was going to say Dolly Parton.
That's his girl.
Yeah.
They were together for years and never got married.
If this dude puts a movie out, I still watch it, and I don't even watch movies today.
He was in the fucking Avengers.
The man is a stud, and he owned the 80s. Find me somebody that was more important to the 80s than this man right here. I challenge you. Fantastic film. Like, great visuals.
Yeah, the fight scene.
The fight scenes.
It's like watching a video game.
What about the dude's head that blows up?
It turns to like garbage.
It gets real huge,
Yeah.
and then it explodes.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great scene. Oh, Mega Man 2.
I was never too huge on Mega Man's, but I understand its importance.
It has a place in the NES history.
Yeah.
And if you don't... Myself and Will are trying to get the whole NES collection. We're trying to get them all. Obviously, it's a huge undertaking because some of them are
Really hard to get.
$15,000 or some crazy shit for like.
And that's there if you can find them. Like they're rare.
There's like a select 10 games that are stupid expensive, but yeah, we're not gonna think about those right now. We're just gonna try to get to the point where we have to think about
Yeah, I
those.
think we got 100.
We
right
actually have 106.
Cool.
Yeah, so we have 106 right now. My wife Katie had gotten me back here on the shelf. There is Mega Man. She bought me Mega Man 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Only thing that was missing was Mega Man 2, which I recently picked up off of eBay. And
Collection complete.
collection is complete on the Mega Man. I have all 6 for the collection, and it was necessary. But I'm not a huge Mega Man fan.
Nope.
I'm just not.
I have them all though.
Yeah, I don't. I hate that I'm not.
I
hate that I'm not.
I don't know why I'm not. It came out right around the same time. I just somehow
I played it. I played it a lot.
it didn't stick with me.
Yeah, it did not stick with me either.
Oh my god.
And I just found out I'm a loser. I just found out about 50 miles away this man is buried.
Ernest P. Worrell.
Put some respect on Ernest P. Worrell's
He's
name.
he's the 80s too, bro.
He is. This
He said, "Show me
this
somebody."
it's between
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell and Ernest P. Worrell, y'all. I'm telling you, he had a show on Saturday mornings too.
He was so famous.
It would come on after the Saturday morning cartoons. This would come on. Not this, because obviously this is a movie. But he had his own show, Ernest something. I can't
Yeah.
remember what it was called.
Do you know how he got his start?
No.
He got his start by doing commercials. Like he
I remember
invented this character to get on commercials for companies. And then next thing you know, he's doing movies. Like think about that. Like you know guys today that get on social media and create a character. Like imagine now those dudes are now in movies. That's what he did. Back when it wasn't even possible.
Back when social media wasn't
Didn't
a thing.
exist.
He had to go pitch that shit to
Yeah,
people.
and it was so good.
Yeah.
People were like, I want him
Yeah.
on my commercial.
Dude,
Then he saved the world.
Ernest
Ernest
goes to
saves the
camp.
world. He goes to camp.
Yeah, I wonder how many different movies
Or he saves
has.
Christmas or something.
Yeah, that's it. Ernest
Yeah.
Saves Christmas.
Like, he does all kinds of shit.
We need to go see his. We need to go pay respects.
Yeah, and he died young, too.
We need to go pay respects to the man.
Most people might not know who he is, but if you ever just want to watch
Dude,
a
just
crazy,
go back.
funny guy who's, like, really just
I think anybody from
naturally
the 80s,
funny.
Anybody from the 80s is going to know who Ernest is.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ernest,
Ernest
man.
P. Worrell.
This man was a huge part of my childhood.
Yeah, me too.
I'm assuming yours.
I watched it a lot. Know what I mean, Vern?
Rest in peace, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
know what I mean, Vern?
Know what I mean, Vern?
Know what I mean, Vern? I know people have heard that saying. Golden Axe. This is for Sega. Golden Axe 2. Okay? For Sega Genesis. This game,
I didn't remember it when I looked it up.
this is an awesome game, and I'll tell you why. The visuals, to me, the visuals are iconic. There's a little wizard guy. There's a big, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger looking dude. And there's a chick. When you get into fighting, you're like riding dinosaurs and shit. There's wizards that walk around with bags on their shoulders, and if you smack them and like spell books fall out of their thing.
That's cool.
There's these big crazy looking characters. All the characters on this game are extremely dope. We need to play this ASAP.
Yeah, I'll play it. That's cool, man.
The visuals for this,
I definitely don't remember it.
it's its own thing. I've never seen another game copy this game. Like, they do these things where they each have their own power, and they're like, call it to the sky, and it's like, lightning strikes or tornadoes come. It's a super dope game. First time I ever played Sega Genesis was when I played Golden Axe 1. A friend of mine had it. I went to his house. I visited. The only game he had was Golden Axe. That's probably why I have a spot in my
for sure.
for this game.
That's why I like Altered Beast.
Because I played it so much. Altered Beast is dope too.
Yeah, because that was the first one I played, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's Genesis.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Because I think it came with mine.
Yeah.
So
that's
I
what
immediately
was
started playing Altered Beast.
So
Yeah, we don't have that.
no, we don't. It's on the list. Bloodsport. Come on.
That's
the
a good movie.
iconic Jean-Claude Van Damme.
This is like watching UFC when we were a kid.
I mean, this is all we had. This is all we had, y'all. This was our Chuck Norris. This was our Bruce Lee.
Yeah, for real.
100%. If this man dropped a film, I'm in line at Blockbuster immediately
Yeah,
to get
he's
that
whooping
son of a bitch.
everybody.
And he was the baddest man on the planet. When we, you know how like when kids, when you would shoot a ball, you'd be like Jordan, Kobe. But if you were about to like wrestle or fight with somebody, it'd be like Van Damme. Be like, I Van Damme that ass. He did a bunch of them. Lionheart, Bloodsport. Kickboxer's the one that has the dance scene in it.
Yeah.
You ever seen that cheesy dance scene? That's
it's like a meme.
viral now.
Yeah, it's a meme.
That was Kickboxer. I
Yeah.
looked it up today. This movie is great. This is
a serious movie.
yeah. This is
And it's based on a true story.
yeah. It's cool. This is actually a good movie.
It is.
This is not just from a cheesy
No,
80s
the whole
perspective.
beginning to end, everything.
I mean, some of the fighting though, like he like the slow motion, and then he's like,
When he gets blinded.
he hits him in the nuts.
Yeah. And when he gets blinded, he's all like,
Yeah, some of it's super cheese, but the overall story
It's a good movie.
is good. Man, I love this. I want to watch this shit right
Is that
now.
eBay?
No. There was a store. I was over in Clarksville, Indiana. Whatever the signage was, I was like, I'm going in that one.
That's got something.
Yeah, and this was in there sitting
That's
on the
cool,
shelf. I was
dude.
like, yes, $8. Bases loaded on the NES CIB, complete inbox.
It's a pretty good copy.
Look at that. Like I said, we want everything. We want anything and everything in the box, out of the box, doesn't matter. But that is damn
Whatever.
good looking.
That's pretty nice.
How nice is that?
That was one of the first classic baseball games.
Oh, E.T.
Legendary.
Shout out to Daniel Wilson. This was another one he picked up for us.
When you talk about 80s movies, you got to talk about E.T.
I mean, this is a staple. You know, even if it's not necessarily like my go-to.
What year is that?
1982.
Yep.
This is when the world was introduced to Drew Barrymore. This was Steven Spielberg. I know another little fun fact about this because I've been doing some research for an upcoming podcast we're doing. Corey Feldman was supposed to be in this movie. Did you know that?
Wow, no. I could see that happening. He was in everything.
Steven Spielberg asked him to be in this one. Before they filmed it, there was a big mix-up, and they were like, I think we need to rewrite the script. They rewrote the script and wrote his part completely out of it.
Wow.
Steven Spielberg felt kind of guilty about it.
Yeah.
And called for Corey Feldman and was like, hey, after E.T. already came out and was a huge success.
Yeah. I got a thing for you.
He's like, but hey, he let him know one day we'll work together again because you were going to do me a solid and work on this one. He called him up, had him come out and meet him somewhere. Corey Feldman had to fly to wherever he was at. He's like, I can't tell you anything about the script, but just know it's about pirates, and it's about booby traps and going on a hunt. And he's like, Corey Feldman was like, sign me
in.
up. I'm in. I don't care what it is. Don't tell me anything else if you can.
Cool.
I'm in. And then it
became a Goonie.
It ended up becoming the Goonies. I'd rather be in the Goonies than in E.T.
100%.
100%. But this is a cool film.
Classic.
I mean, most people have seen
Your kids will still like it.
E.T. looks absolutely ridiculous.
Terrible.
By today's standards, but it's still a good movie.
Back then, he was cool.
Okay, this is going to be a fun one to talk about. Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. This is a highly sought after game. And myself and Will played it and we were like, what is this crap?
It was hard to play.
It was hard to play. It was not fun. However, we gave it probably 15 minutes of our time. I'm sure it's an awesome game. I'm sure it's a fun game. But I know why. I have a theory. I have a theory why we didn't know about this game. 1996.
That's why.
So this came out on the edge of the Super Nintendo. This is probably one of the last group of games released.
I think I was already on to something else.
I want to know when the Nintendo 64 came
Yeah.
out. So what I've noticed is games that were released towards the end of a life cycle of a system are generally worth more.
And more expensive.
Because they're rare. Oh, look. September 29th, 1996. So nobody
gave a shit about playing that.
I mean, I know that my friends didn't. In 1996, I was only worried about playing sports games at that window.
Me too. I
wasn't worried about Mario games until later or before.
Yeah.
Chris Hennon.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, dog. He also, I mean, shit, how many other ones did we get for the collection from him?
Yeah, pretty good ones.
Probably, was it like 8 or something?
Yeah.
Or 8 or 9 games for our collection. So, shout out to Chris, man. We really appreciate
He kept some of his more favorite games, which I don't blame him.
Harry and the Hendersons. Timeless masterpiece.
It was one of my favorite movies in the 80s, man.
Look at Harry in the car, head poking out the top.
Like, how could you watch that and not be friends with a Bigfoot?
My kids love this movie.
Yeah, it still holds up. How funny is Harry?
Harry's great.
I know how funny is that, like, 80s. He's just a dude in a character, in a costume. I like the very end when the hunter ends up like...
Oh, he likes
him? Yeah, he kissed the hunter on the bald head, and then he ends up liking him. The whole movie, he's trying to kill him.
And the scene where he's in the house for the first time, and he's seeing, like, the deer heads on the walls and stuff.
He freaks
He's, like, punching through, trying to find where they're at.
It's hilarious.
There's a lot of, like, dope cinematography in that movie, too, like, where the dad's up on the roof, and he has him in the crosshairs.
Yeah.
And he's just looking. There's like a moment there where it's like real peaceful, and he's like, he doesn't shoot him. I don't know. It's just really cool. That scene always stuck out.
You remember the ending?
Yeah, where there's more of them.
Yeah, you see it, like they start to fade into focus.
Yep.
Yeah, that was always cool. I remember always pausing it.
That's funny you say that. I rewound it and let the kids watch it like 6 times so they could like find
Pause
him and try to see him before
I
they
remember
came out.
doing that, hitting pause back right at that moment. It's a good flick, man.
1987.
Damn, perfect. John Lithgow. I remember watching him in Twilight Zone when that thing was on the wing and he flips out on the plane. That was one of my favorite John Lithgow scenes.
Third Rock from the Sun is the show he's on television.
He was huge. Yeah. He was on Dexter. He was on all kinds of good shows.
Harry and the Hendersons, iconic film. Had to get that for the collection. Where'd this one come from? eBay. Yeah. Double Dragon 2. But this is the one that everyone seems to put their respect on. This is one that you can play together. I don't think on Double Dragon 1 that you can play...
I think you can.
You?
It might be separate players.
It is separate. You play, you die, it's your turn.
Yeah, it might be like that. I'm not sure.
Pretty sure it is. This one you can play as teammates.
That's pretty cool.
And I think that was a big deal when this came out, which is one of the reasons. And this one looks a little cool. I have a super soft spot for actual 8-bit graphics in my heart. The worse the graphics look, I almost like it better. But this one does look a little cleaner.
They spiced it up a little.
They were figuring it out a little bit more, figuring out how to get more in there.
That was a good arcade game also back in the day.
Very good. Double Dragon 2. I'm running out of room back here.
Now we need that CIB.
Oh, we definitely need that CIB. But I got my eyes on Jackal.
Still searching for that Zelda.
Oh, Big. This is going to be a movie night. I told the kids all about Big.
They'll love it.
Tom Hanks. I'm assuming this is his breakout role. I don't really know what else he was doing before this because he's obviously young as hell right there. About a kid that makes a wish to become grown, turns into a 30-year-old, ends up working for a toy manufacturer, toy testing or something, has the best job in the world. I'll tell you what I remember the most about this movie, his apartment.
That's the scene I remember.
Oh, obviously the iconic scene of him dancing on the floor piano that's on the ground. Yeah, his apartment where he had the trampoline in his apartment is like up on top of
Oh yeah.
it's in a high rise.
I
His
do
apartment
remember
is
that.
fucking laid. Like, to me, in my mind, that set the standard of the apartment that I was gonna get when I was older. And that shit did not happen.
And it's just so cool to see a kid get to be living out his fantasies. You know what I mean?
Great movie. $1 Goodwill pickup. This game right here is a trip.
I've heard so many people talk about it. I don't remember it.
A boy and his blob. There's a store here in Louisville called Through the Decades. This one was sitting there for over a month, and I'd stop in there and I'd see it. Finally, I got it. Somebody mentioned this on one of my posts. I was like, all right, I got to get it. And obviously, we had to get it for the collection because we got to get all 716. Remember when I was playing this the other day? The blob just follows you around, and then if you like go too fast, you'll leave it, but then you can whistle for it.
What year did that come out?
And he comes running towards you. 1989.
Yeah.
1989. A boy and his blob. Another iconic 80s film. Short Circuit.
Johnny Five
Johnny Five
is alive.
I mean, look at him. This reminds me, Will, we got to get, what's the other one that had the little machines?
Dude.
What is that?
Oh my God, I know exactly.
I'm tapping in, aren't I?
That's one of my favorite movies.
What is that
I
called?
cannot remember the name. I've had it in my head before.
Short Circuit, anyway. Johnny Five. This robot brings you in.
It's one of the first movies at that era where makes you fall in love with the robot.
Yeah, you just love this character,
Yeah.
and then doesn't he die or something?
Yeah, and they bring him back to life.
Yeah, and it's like it hurts so bad to see him. 1986.
Because there's a part 2.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a pretty cool movie.
Zelda.
It's a classic game.
Come on, guys.
It's one of the best Zeldas there.
Zelda: A Link to the Past on Super Nintendo.
Super fun game, still playable. Like,
This I think really, if you look at Zelda top 10 list, a lot of times this is number 1 or it's definitely in the top 3.
yeah, definitely top 3
Yeah.
of all the Zeldas.
Shout out to Dougie for contributing to the collection as well.
That was a good haul.
Thanks, Dougie. That was awesome. Yeah, definitely a good haul on that. I think this set the standard for everything after that.
Like that took off where the first one landed. It was so good and it was so popular that 2 was a little bit off.
Yeah, two really left a bad taste.
And that was the third installment.
This was the third. It was
And
on the
it
new
took it off.
system.
Yep.
And it just, after this one came out and it was a success, you knew right then that Zelda was going to be around forever. Fun game. I need to revisit it. We'll probably end up covering this on an episode of our podcast where the premise of our podcast is where we kind of relive things. So this will be a perfect game to do that on.
Yeah, focus on one game would be good.
We focus on this game for about 2 to 3 weeks before we do the podcast. Then we podcast and talk about everything we learned, things we didn't like, stuff like that. So this will be on there for sure.
Iconic movie there.
Howard the freaking Duck. What a film. Like, can you imagine the board meeting where they pitched this thing?
I know, right? And it doesn't hold up.
This movie is trash.
Terrible movie.
This movie is absolutely terrible, but it's so bad and it was so important to me when I was a child. Had to have this shit. Will actually picked this up out at a
Flea market.
A flea market. Called me on FaceTime, was like, look at all these movies, dude. I said, get that. I don't care how much it is. Get that
I dug at
shit.
the bottom and saw it.
It was like $5.
Three movies for $5.
Howard the Duck came out in 1986. And the funniest thing about this, do you know whose creation this was?
No.
I might have some super nerds that are going to annihilate me for this, but this was George Lucas, post Star Wars.
That's crazy.
This was his brainchild. He didn't direct it, but he co-produced it, and he made this thing happen. And it is absolute ass. Howard the Duck.
At the time, though, it was for some reason, it was so cool.
Howard the Duck, an 80s movie.
Classic.
So bad, we had to have it.
Yeah.
This, my God, over the top. What do you know about this, Will?
I know about it.
This movie.
You know how many people arm wrestled after that?
Yeah, I wonder how many people blew their shit out. after
that created arm wrestles in houses.
It's so cheese, dude. It is the cheesiest thing ever. The movie's about, remember, he picks his kid up.
Bro.
The kid's riding with him back in his semi-truck all the way across the country back to California or something, or wherever they came from. He's taking him back to his mom. Well, he's stopping at all these truck stops, and these people recognize him, like, people like, yeah, it's arm wrestle. So it ends up escalating all the way to this dude's, like,
arm wrestle.
It ends up to this dude being in the arm wrestling world championships, and the kid, like, loves his dad after that. At first, he
it's
hates
a bonding
his dad.
moment.
At first, he won't even talk to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be around him. He runs away from him and shit. Slowly, as it builds up, he's in here arm wrestling these big, just monsters and beating them.
How many people back then at parties, at family reunions, people's uncles, it was arm wrestle.
Dude, so when he does, the movie's called Over the Top because of a move he does.
Yeah, he goes over there.
He does, like, look, he's getting beat. It's all cheesy. He's like, yeah, and then all of a sudden he's like everything pauses and he's just like, yeah, and he sticks his fingers up and puts them over the top and he's just like, it's so cheesy.
Like his Superman fingers?
Yeah, but I love it so much. Clarksville Peddlers Mall.
That's cool.
Saw that in the case. I was like, I need y'all to open this immediately.
That's a classic.
I need y'all to open this immediately.
No, we're good.
All right.
This is real unboxing.
This is unboxing. Oh, I ordered this off of eBay. Like, I ordered this probably 4 weeks ago, and it showed up today.
Oh, man. 80s as it gets.
Look at that. Oh, what's that? All right, guys.
Weird Science.
Watch this, though, Will. I don't even know if you knew this.
Oh, Blockbuster?
This is a Blockbuster rental. Weird
Damn.
Science. Blockbuster.
That's solid.
This is a Blockbuster. Look at that warning. Be kind, please rewind. Every teenage boy in the 80s and 90s.
That was a classic movie, bro.
They watch this thing on repeat. This is a cool concept. I'd like to look more into who wrote this damn movie, but I'll tell you what. Computer.
They like put a
and then she came out of the closet.
Yeah. They made a computer program and it actually made it real life.
Weird Science, man. Classic. That one came out. When do you think that one came out?
I'm not gonna look.
I didn't know. This one caught me off guard.
I just feel like it's like 86 because it was such a good year.
That's a great guess. It was 1985.
Damn.
I thought it was later. I thought it was 88 or something. Weird Science. I mean, it goes without saying that we had to add that to the collection.
Yeah, super
I'm so
good.
happy to get this, and the fact that it's a Blockbuster, to me, that makes it 10 times cooler.
Yeah, we think that stuff's cool. Like that
I
adds
love
to
that.
the nostalgia.
That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed.
That's a good haul.
That is a great haul. I doubt. I mean, you never know. I mean, if we do these things spaced out, because that was really only like 2 weeks of stuff,
Yeah.
and that wasn't all of it.
So if you have anything,
Yeah. If you have anything, holler at us. We ain't selling.
no,
We're buying and we're receiving.
Yeah.
So whatever you got, holler at us.
we're
We'll figure
adding to
something
the
out.
collection.
We're just trying to get a huge collection. I'll tell you what, Will, you really did something to me the other day. You lit something in me, because obviously we were collecting anyway. But something you said,
I don't know.
it has resonated with me, and I'm like, this just changed my whole perspective on everything. Even if I didn't even need that to happen.
Yeah.
You called it a library.
Yeah, it's a library.
Will called it a library, and I was like,
I live like 25 minutes away,
Yeah.
and I can just come and like check something out at the library. If I want to play a game, I just come play. Just come check it out.
and I started thinking, like, libraries have thousands of books.
Yeah, you want everything. You know, just not our list.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
Because
Yeah.
a lot of our games aren't on our list.
Yeah.
But we got them.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You get them.
So now I want
Everything.
everything. superretropod@gmail.com. Subscribe to the YouTube, like the video, whatever it is that you do. We just want people to watch and listen. We have so much fun talking about this stuff. Hope you enjoyed it.
Come hang out in the past with us.
For real.
That's all we do. Just reminisce on a better time. Yeah.
Peace.
See you later.